I'm sure
the best manager in Mets history.
I'm going to be yelled at for asking this question.
Don't do it.
But I want to ask.
Okay.
When you were at college,
yes,
you were how much ahead of some of those great players were you?
Okay, well, check it out. I signed out of high school.
Right.
I went to the University of Southern California because in '68, if you weren't a full-time student, married or crippled, you went to Vietnam, and the Dodgers didn't particularly want to give me a bonus and have me go to Vietnam. So I was a full-time student. In my second year at USC, the season ended. September comes around. I'm a full-time student.
Right.
During the day, I'm playing for the Dodgers at night.
Is that how you did it?
Nice. So 5 days in September, the 5 home games that the Dodgers had in September, I actually went, got dressed, and was in a Dodger uniform. Next day, I went over. Hey, that's a good way to be big man on campus.
That is. That's pretty good.
I never asked this question. I didn't know that part of the story.
Yeah.
Was your number called? Would you have had to have gone?
Well, so then the numbers came later in '71 with the lottery. So my number was a high number, and it wasn't called. It was 323.
Got it.
So that was during that childhood of mine. But
so when was
everybody remembers their number though, right?
Yeah,
Bobby?
you got to remember the number.
Like Fred Lynn Swan.
Yeah.
They were right around the same time, right?
Right around the same time. I was the OJ era, actually, if you really want to know.
There you go.
Yeah, and
Got
Steve
some stories
Soggy
there?
was the quarterback and also the catcher on the USC team.
What was it like being a Northeastern kid and playing ball as an 18-year-old and under the specter of some of the great athletes in America, and USC, of course, being a focal point of that?
Yeah, well, go out to SC. As a professional athlete from Connecticut was radical. You know, I mean, I had a leisure suit. I went over to check into the dorm, and when I checked into the athletic dorm, they say, "Hey, you're no longer registered here. What's going on?" I said, "Well, why not?" They said, "This is only for scholarship athletes." I said, "Well, I had one, but I signed professionally, you know." They said, "Good, you're now in Tootin Hall."
Really?
And I got to carry my luggage in my leisure suit across campus, 90 degrees, USC, and really look cool
Which
doing
is crazy.
that. Huh?
So you're out there, and then because the Dodgers signed you, USC is like, well, I don't know, you can go to school if you want, but get out of the athletic dorm.
But get out of the athletic dorm.
Does he
have any good OJ stories for us?
Wow. OJ story, you know, he showed me around campus.
Really?
I could say that. I ran, you couldn't try out with your own sport. And I was there for a football scholarship and a baseball scholarship, but I ran with the track team. All right. And he was with the Olympic 880 track team with Earl McCullough and others. So that's how they found out whether or not I was a cool looking athlete. They gave me shorts and a pair of spikes and let me run with the relay team.
So it was like John Travolta in Grease.
Kind of. Yeah, you could do this. Huh? Yeah.
Did you realize just how unfast you were when you saw those guys running the 880?
Actually, I ran with them, so it wasn't so bad.
There you go, Bobby V.
That's why they gave me the scholarship.
You shut up about my friend Bobby V.
Listen,
Shut up.
The one thing I could do is run. You know, and
you
make
could do more than that, Bobby
You ran like
V.
a 4.40, like where you could get it?
Yeah, I could get it. I
love
could.
it.
We didn't really run 40s in those days, but we ran yards, huh?
Right.
So I ran a 60-yard dash, a 300-yard dash.
Got it. Talking to Bobby Valentine, I'm going to questions that I'm sure no one's asked you in a million years because it's typically about the Mets or about the mustache, like Governor Darkness wants to ask about. So you get there in '68. Now, how aware were you guys of Woodstock the following year?
Well, on the West Coast, it really wasn't that big a thing.
Really?
No internet, if you can imagine. The 10 o'clock news. If you didn't watch it, you didn't get it.
Do you remember knowing about it happening or after the fact?
After the fact, when my friends, who were the East Coast guys who happened to show up, what a thing. It was all cool. And, then you started to buy the albums. So to get hip with Jimi Hendrix and Richie Havens and all.
Yeah. That's that time period is fascinating to me, from like 68 to 73. Now, do you remember where you were when we walked on the moon?
I do.
Well, you were USC, I imagine, or were you home?
No, I was gone in '69. I was in Spokane, Washington, as a matter of fact, as a 19-year-old trying to play AAA, and I thought I was on the moon. You know?
In Spokane.
And some of the pitchers wanted me to be on the moon because I was making an error a day.
And what happened? Did the guys all get together and watch it?
No.
Really?
As a matter of fact, no. It was just talked about. It wasn't a. It wasn't a TV event.
Flies. Hey, by the way, we walked in. That's good. I met my wife.
Yeah, actually, there's a newspaper in the clubhouse, as I remember, and the picture of the flag and the moon, and everyone talking about it happening, but did not see it live.
See that? Yep. And I would think most people at your age would claim that they, of course, saw it, right?
Yeah,
and you're
I guess.
out there busy in Spokane playing baseball, trying to figure life out, right?
Trying to figure it out.
So you're probably playing a game that night, probably middle of July.
Yeah, absolutely. He was playing a game. We played every day.
Bobby,
we played every day.
Every day, baby.
Every day.
Why do you think? I've got my feelings on it, but I don't want to tip you off to them. But why? You've been around baseball for 50 years. Do you have an opinion as to why so many of these guys are getting hurt? Let's start with pitching first, where it's more than in any other era of the sport. Pitchers are going down with significant injuries, whether it's Tommy John, whether it's shoulder related. Do you have a rationale as to why that is?
Oh, it's too radical, my thoughts. I think that they changed the mound and they made it really a hard landing. If you watch the games, you'll see that it's a concrete packed mound now. When you played as a kid, Governor, there was always a hole where you stepped. Yep. And you had to fill in the other guy's hole. Same with the batter's box. You had to fill in the other guy's hole in the batter's box. Now it's like concrete. There's no holes. Right. So when you land, your foot sticks. It doesn't move. It doesn't slide. And as your arm is decelerating, I think that little slide used to soften the landing for your arm when it pronates. And now it sticks so rapidly, the arm comes quicker, and when it's slowing down, it's more abrupt. And that's just a radical thought. And I'm sure some smart guy is going to say, no, that's not true.
But there's no denying the fact that it's happening more than it ever did.
Yep. It's happening more. The arm has to be coming forward quicker.
Could it be about the weightlifting and all the gym work? Like I say all the time, baseball players don't have to be like all jacked up. The sport doesn't lend itself to have to be like football does.
Yes.
Because if you got to move another man out of the way. But in baseball, I don't think having big biceps or triceps makes you a better hitter.
Yeah, I know. But, as much as you do bodybuilding, it doesn't bother your elbow at all, does it?
My bodybuilding is by
very, very good point, Bobby V.
Now, I know Bobby's here with a company called Winview Games.
Yes, it is.
Which is pretty cool. It's big in Vegas conceptually, where it's kind of in the middle of a game, it's predictive, and you get to play along and figure out what's the next play going to be and have some fun with your friends doing it, right?
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, it's a new app that's out there. You download it, and during the game, you predict things that are going to happen. Hit or an out, a foul ball, or swing and miss, a take, a stolen base. And it's interactive
it's not
and fun.
gambling. It's free to do it. It's legal in every state. I should make that point
Thank
you.
Now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And you can get into a group. Like you can create a group just for your buddies. You can go into a group with random people and kind of test your ability to predict what's going to happen next.
Well, like you might predict that
January 19th I stopped taking your calls. Yes,
that's
absolutely.
Right. That's very true. Or you might predict that the Yankees might not have as lucky a run as they've had.
That's why we call him darkness. Last week he's like, well, what would happen if the Yankees have this or that? He can't. Here's what's funny. Now, you manage the Mets. You manage the Red Sox. You get this. There's Met fans can't truly be happy unless the Mets are doing great. By the way,
the Yankees have to be doing poorly.
Exactly.
Right.
And the Yankee fans don't feel the same way, and for good reason, because the Yankees had so many great runs where the Mets were, sadly, not in the picture of having a chance to win. So, the Met fans like me that grew up, I was born in '69, where you had the mid to late '80s, where the Yankees were not very good and the Mets were.
Yep.
So my generation never had a dislike or hatred for the Yankees because they weren't that good in the '80s. Despite winning more games than anybody in the decade, they never had that run like they had from 95 on.
Oh, I know about that run. And, Met fans really want the Yankees to lose, and the Yankee fans really want to ignore the Mets.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is, that they don't really exist.
Right. But you were wrong, because I was very happy in in 2000 when we got into the World Series and had a Subway Series.
Well, because the Mets were in it. Well,
yeah, but wait, what you said before was that Met fans can only be happy if we're winning and the Yankees doing poorly. In 2000, I was plenty happy, and I still, if Armando Benitez had not walked Paul O'Neill,
great at bat. Give Paul the credit. Don't give the discredit. I believe it was a great at bat. It was just
if you want to blame
spectacular.
Someone, you blame Timo Perez.
Please, Bobby, I'm still dying.
Let's blame Bobby V.
No.
He gets blamed for everything else.
Wait, Bobby V. Not on this program. You don't get blamed.
Thank you.
No chance.
Thank you, Governor.
We're
Bobby
V
came
fans.
on with Boomer and I after that. The Ortiz book came out, and I was telling the governor about it just for background. We all live in the public life at different levels, of course. You're the governor of New Jersey, and you suffer the slings and arrows of everyone. You're a manager of the Mets, the Red Sox. You suffer with every loss. We do our show. It's a little different, but people out there, people love to just throw barbs at you because nowadays it's anonymous.
Yes.
Like, of all the people that say they hate my show or our show with Boomer and they can't stand what we do, it's never to your face because now you can anonymously have beer muscles and go, you suck, this and that. But you guys live in a world, and it's changing, where you'd hear 45,000 people tell you how much you suck.
Amen.
Right?
Yeah.
In multiple cities.
Yes, in multiple languages.
Did they tell you suck in Japan ever or no?
It's not part of the culture. No,
booing does not.
Booing does not happen. No, it's a cheering society.